Vanakkam. Welcome to the Yogi Cleanse. This video is about a cleansing practice in yoga called Kapalabhati. The goal of this video is to understand the science behind Kapalabhati, how to do it, and how regular practice of Kapalabhati brings not only a cleansing effect in the body but also improves your lung capacity, strengthens your abdominal organs and your diaphragm, and brings clarity to the mind. More importantly, we will see the contraindications, who should do it, who should not do it, who should avoid the practice, and towards the end of the video we'll have a small practice to understand few variations of Kapalabhati. Now we will see the what, the why and the how. What is Kapalabhati, why we need to do, and how to do it. Kapalabhati is a cleansing practice involving forceful exhalation and passive inhalation. Now the question is, why do we have to do forceful exhalation? Every day before you feed your stomach, you empty your bowel and cleanse it, right? Likewise, our lungs need to be emptied out of any residual carbon dioxide in the system. Throughout the day, we don't take complete long breaths with deeper exhalation. What we do take is shallow breaths owing to various tensions and multivarious activities we are involved in. What we do is called active inhalation but passive exhalation. Because of that, there is some amount of residual carbon dioxide that stays in our lungs, which eventually becomes as toxins and manifest as diseases. This residual carbon dioxide stays in the lower part of the lungs. The goal of the Kapalabhati practice is to remove this residual carbon dioxide from the system. Ancient Hatha Yoga text talks about 6 kriyas, 6 cleansing techniques, and Kapalabhati is one of the 6 kriyas. So what we do here is forceful exhalation and passive inhalation in order to remove that residual carbon dioxide. Now let us see the etymology of Kapalabhati. Kapala means skull, Bhati means to shine. So Kapalabhati means skull shining. Have you ever thought of shining your skull? Let's think about what people would normally want to be shined. People would want shining jewelry, maybe shining utensils, shining shoes. If it comes to your own body, maybe shining face. But who would think about shining your skull? There is something to it, right? There is some kind of a symbolic representation here. When you do Kapalabhati, what happens? We just discussed that it gets rid of all the residual carbon dioxide and toxins from the body. So fresh air, fresh oxygen enters your lungs, and fresh oxygenated blood enters every nook and corner of your brain, even those parts that you have not been used for a while. Think about a jug with turbid water. In case if you want to have a jug of fresh water, you won't pour fresh water into it, right? You first have to empty the jug out of the turbid water and then pour the clear water. Otherwise, like even the clear water gets contaminated, right? Likewise, what you have to do is empty all the toxins from your body, and then when you inhale fresh air into the system, then every part of the brain is nourished with oxygenated blood. What was looking like a dark, dingy room now looks like a shining space. This is the symbolic representation of Kapalabhati. Moreover, there are studies shown out of research that they have found out Kapalabhati improves cognitive function, it improves clarity in the mind, the speed in which you process things also improves. Now let us understand why we need to do Kapalabhati, the science behind that leads to so many benefits. This is a picture of your thoracic region showing your lungs and diaphragm. Diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle that separates your lungs and your abdominal organs. When you do Kapalabhati, you pull the navel inside, contract the abdomen and initiate the pressure from the lower abdomen, that is the Apana region. So as a result, this diaphragm is pushed up and reduces the volume of your thoracic region. So let us pause here and see what happens. When the diaphragm is pushed up, the volume in the lungs is reduced, right? From our school science, we have learned that when the volume reduces, the pressure increases, right? So whatever pressure that remains, the air pressure remains inside the lungs, increases. This pressure is called intrapulmonary pressure, and this is normally maintained equal to that of the atmospheric pressure. Our homeostasis in the body maintains that. But when there is a high pressure due to this diaphragm pushed up, what happens? In order to maintain that to the equal to that of the atmospheric pressure, every carbon dioxide in the lungs is squeezed out. In order to bring the pressure to the normal, the air is expelled out of your lungs without any residue. So thereafter, whatever air that you take in is a fresh oxygenated air without being contaminated with the already existing carbon dioxide. So this is the science behind how it happens during a Kapalabhati practice. Apart from cleansing the lungs and purifying the blood, Kapalabhati has got like many more benefits. We are going to see 4 important benefits. First and foremost, it strengthens your abdominal organs, your diaphragm during this practice of Kapalabhati, like how you exercise your arm muscles, exercise your body in general. Likewise, Kapalabhati brings strength to the internal muscles. The second part is, due to lungs becoming more strong, its capacity to eliminate the phlegm from your respiratory system is also higher. So Kapalabhati is a great tool to get rid of or prevent any kind of respiratory illness. The third important benefit is Kapalabhati also works on your upper respiratory system, where it clears all the sinus, any fluid buildup in your facial region. It clears everything as you do the Kapalabhati regularly. Then above all, the fourth important benefit is it brings down so much clarity to the mind. It brings calmness to the mind after the Kapalabhati practice. During the Kapalabhati practice, it is an energizing practice. It triggers your sympathetic nervous system. But after you finish the Kapalabhati, the parasympathetic nervous system gets activated, and that brings calmness to the mind. Not only that, it also helps all your internal functional organs. When parasympathetic nervous system is activated, your internal organs function very well. All the involuntary functions happens at its best capacity. Now let us see how to do Kapalabhati. Sit comfortably with your back straight. Keep your torso nice and long as if you are sitting from the base of the spine. Basically, your abdomen has to be free. You can either sit in normal cross-leg position, the Sukhasana, or you can assume Padmasana if you can do the lotus position, or any asanas like Siddhasana or Vajrasana is also suitable. Whatever may be, like the abdomen has to be free and it should not be crunched. If you are not able to sit on the floor, assuming you are sitting on a chair, make sure you are not leaning backwards. And then when you are seated on the chair, just keep the feet little apart so that you are not crunching your abdomen. Now what we are going to do is forceful exhalation and passive inhalation. Every time you exhale, you are going to pull the navel inside and contract the abdomen and let go of the air. The inhalation happens on its own without any effort. So if you are new to Kapalabhati and if you are a beginner in Kapalabhati, I would like to give you a suggestion or a technique like how to get hold of this Kapalabhati practice. This is very similar to when somebody asks you to blow a candle. What kind of pressure you give? You initiate the pressure from the abdomen, right? At the same time, like when I ask you to blow the candle with the mouth closed, what will you do? You will initiate the pressure, but then the pressure is transformed to the nose, right? Like that Kapalabhati is done. Initially, if you are a beginner, I would suggest you start with pumps or you start with exhalation such that there is small gap between two breaths, so that there is some amount of space for you to take the inhalation. Classically, Kapalabhati is done like 2 pumps per second. We call it pumps because it is like a pressure is initiated from your lower abdomen, but then energy is transferred. So every exhalation is called like a pump in yogic jargon. So basically what I'm suggesting is, if you are beginning the practice of Kapalabhati, start with just 10 pumps at a stretch, and you can do 3 sets. Take breaks in between. Any point of time, if you are feeling dizzy, or if you're feeling like not able to breathe properly, not able to get good amount of inhalation, then at that point you should stop, take few breaths, and then again slowly build up the practice. Now I'm going to show you how to do Kapalabhati. I'm going to place one palm on my abdomen. You don't have to place your palm on the abdomen, but for you to see every time how I exhale, my abdomen is going inside. I initiate the pressure from the lower abdomen. So just for you to notice that, I'm going to place one palm on my abdomen. Sit comfortably. Nice long inhalation. Deep exhalation. Now inhale comfortably. Start pumping. Relax. Take few normal breaths. You can repeat 2 more sets, each set of 10 pumps to start with. This is a good tempo to start with, where you have some space in between the exhalations. Ideally 2 pumps per second is the classical way of doing it, where there won't be any gap for the inhalation part at all. If you are a beginner, then I won't suggest that. Over a period of time, you can build your capacity to do 1 pump per second, where is something like this. Inhale deeply. Let go of all the breath. Now inhale comfortably. Start pumping. Relax. Now you have to note one important thing. You have to listen to the sound that comes during the Kapalabhati. The tempo should be maintained throughout. At the same time, the force should also be maintained. Assuming you are doing 10 pumps, the first pump, whatever force you are giving, the same pressure or the same force has to be maintained till the 10 or 20th, whatever number you are doing. So if you notice that a difference in the sound, that means you're losing your capacity. You should not be pushing too hard. You should bring down the number. Or if you notice that the gap between 2 pumps is kind of disturbed, and the sound is the tempo is very different, then at that point you have to stop and then build your practice slowly over a period of time. So these are the 2 important things that you have to keep in your mind. Now let us see one more variation of Kapalabhati, where you involve your nostril. We will be doing Kapalabhati alternatively through each nostril. This works very well to clear your sinuses from your system. Any kind of fluid buildup in your facial region gets cleared up. So you can hold mudras if you are in the practice. Left hand in chin mudra, right hand in mrigi mudra, bending the index and the middle finger. You're going to close your right nostril with your thumb. Take one normal breath. Let go of all the breath through the left nostril. Now inhale comfortably and start pumping through the left nostril. We are going to do 20 pumps now. Relax. Few normal breaths. We are going to repeat the same thing through the right nostril now. After you take comfortable long breaths, if you are a beginner, again you can choose your number. You don't have to do 20, you can do 10, take some breaks, and then continue another set of 10 sets. Now close the left nostril, inhale comfortably, start pumping through the right nostril. Few normal breaths. Gentle breathing, effortless breathing. Let us now see what are the contraindications of Kapalabhati. Who should do it and who should avoid it? We saw earlier that how Kapalabhati increases the pressure in the lungs. If you are already having a weak lungs due to asthmatic condition or any kind of pulmonary disorders, then doing Kapalabhati will further give strain to your lungs. So you should avoid Kapalabhati. As the pressure in the lungs increases, this also increases the general blood pressure of your body. So if your blood pressure is not under control, even with medication, then you should avoid Kapalabhati. Or you can do it slowly with the supervision of your teacher, not doing it alone. And another important thing is Kapalabhati brings or generates heat in the body. So if you are having any kind of ulcers or conditions like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, or colitis, then that will further aggravate your pitta, that is further aggravate your heat in the body, will worsen the condition. So you have to kind of judge and see, if you're doing like 20 pumps that particular day and if you feel very acidic on that particular day, then you should bring down that number a bit. Another important thing, if you have recently undergone any surgery, then you should avoid Kapalabhati for at least 3 to 6 months. You can check with your doctor if you're ready to do this kind of practice. If you are pregnant, of course, you have to avoid it. And if you are also during your menstrual cycle, you should be avoiding Kapalabhati. Thanks for listening. If you are interested in yogic practices, the principles and the science behind the yogic practices, please do consider subscribing to this channel and share it with your friends. We will meet again in the next video. Thank you.